Taking the first glance at the life of Dr. Phil McGraw, the popular face behind the television show Dr. Phil, one could easily get taken by the massive success that he has recorded over the years and not see the struggles and sadness that rest within. As much as he is successful, he has also been through some of the most difficult situations that have molded him into the character that we all know and love today. His growth and career have been characterized by a turbulent childhood, lawsuits, disappointments, and even personal losses, affecting some of the people who have been closest to him. Let's embark on this journey together as we expose some of the sad realities of Dr. Phil McGraw. The popular face of the Dr. Phil television show was born Philip Calvin McGraw on September 1, 1950, in Veneta, Oklahoma. He had 3 other siblings with whom he grew up, and the family wasn't finding things easy financially. This situation ignited his early struggles as they all battled to make ends meet. Their father, Joseph McGraw, was in between jobs as he struggled to give his family the best that he could afford at the time. The bad situation they were in kind of worsened when Phil was only 12. He faced situations most children his age couldn't relate to. This happened because his father lost his job and was without any means of livelihood for a while. In a bid to seek out jobs, Phil and his father had to make their car their home for about 4 months, and the experience was nothing to write home about. They battled the elements, as his father tried to make the best of an internship as a psychologist that he got a slot in. It was after this time that things started to change for the better for the family. Looking on the bright side, these experiences taught Phil resilience and the will to forge ahead no matter what the situation might be, both traits that helped propel him to the heights he has gotten today. In the midst of it all, he took his education seriously and also prospered in his high school football team. He had his eyes on playing professionally and worked really hard to make that dream come through. Luckily for him, he got into the University of Tulsa in 1968 via a football scholarship. Finally, he was starting to get closer to his dream. Things, however, didn't work out as he had planned. An unfortunate event changed his trajectory in life, and Phil had to fall back on actually getting a degree. During his freshman year, Phil had gotten an injury to one of his eyes, which had left him partially blind. Seeing the potential danger in playing the game and also being forced out of active play by the injury, Phil took the time to reevaluate his options and quickly decided to focus on his education. Consequently, he transferred to the Midwestern State University in Wichita Falls, Texas, where he pursued a degree in psychology, towing the same career path as his father. He graduated in 1975 and braced to face the challenges that would follow after. To give him a better fighting chance in the competitive market, he made the decision to further his studies. So, immediately after graduation, he proceeded to the University of North Texas, where he earned a Master of Arts in Experimental Psychology in 1976, just a year after getting his degree. Wasting no time, he enrolled in a PhD program in clinical psychology at the same institution and was done by 1979. His deep dive into the field of psychology gave him a better understanding of the human mind, and he was poised to make his contribution to society with the knowledge that he has acquired. Soon he made to join his father's private practice. His father had partnered with a friend to set up a private practice, which they marketed as a health spa. Members were given the option of purchasing long-term memberships, with the promise to have continuous services from the center. Due to one reason or another, however, the establishment faced a major financial setback at some point. With this, both Phil and his father were left to find another means of livelihood. It would have been a lot easier if they had to just worry about themselves, but they were faced with significant legal troubles, as their clients with long-term memberships alleged fraud and were determined to fight them. With this, Phil had to declare bankruptcy and also move out of the state in order to escape all the trouble brewing in the background. For any other person, having such challenges might have been major setbacks that they might not have bounced back from, but Phil was very much determined to continue pushing till he made it. He continued practicing as a psychologist and was thinking of other innovative ways that he could improve his worth and get a better shot at success. While at it, he got the idea for and co-founded Courtroom Sciences, Inc., which he nurtured alongside Gary Dobbs. This was happening in the 1980s, and CSI took the shape of a consulting firm, which helped lawyers prepare their clients and witnesses for cases and prepare strategies via mock trials. This way, the lawyers give their clients shots at learning what to expect when they finally go to court. They leverage Phil's background in psychology to take their clients through reactions that they should expect at every point. Fortune started to smile on Phil when his paths crossed with that of Oprah Winfrey in 1966. This was the time that Oprah was preparing for her upcoming trial, where she would be responding to a high-profile lawsuit on defamation. CSI was the place her lawyers brought her to when they were preparing for the case, aiming to prepare her for the court scenario. When she finally went to court and won the case, she was really impressed by what Phil and his colleague had going on and even gave them credit during one of her sessions. This was the beginning of an amazing friendship that would change everything for Phil. Oprah was so taken by his knowledge of psychology that she had him make an appearance on her show to discuss related matters. This soon opened doors for Phil, and he made the best out of the situation. What many describe as the Oprah effect on Phil's career started with his first appearance on The Oprah Winfrey Show, back in 1998. This was the year he made his first appearance on the show, and they discussed relationships and strategies. Being well-grounded in his field, Phil soon appealed to the audience and moved on to become a regular guest on the show. Beyond everything, Oprah provided the exposure that Phil needed to make his move. His name already resonated with a wide audience by 2002. Taking the initiative from Oprah, he decided to start his own show with the title Dr. Phil, and Oprah was more than willing to help him bring this idea to reality. Through her production team, Phil launched Dr. Phil on the 16th of September, 2002. The show tackled real-life issues such as addiction, marital problems, mental health, and more, offering viewers actionable solutions. As you would expect, riding on the popularity that he had already gained from being part of the Oprah Winfrey Show, Dr. Phil became an instant success, attracting millions of views each week. The show became one of the top-rated shows on its network and was second only to The Oprah Winfrey Show. With a perfect understanding of human sensibility, Phil had no problem getting content that would appeal to a lot of people. It wasn't long before the accolades started to come in. The show went on to win several awards, including several Daytime Emmy Awards. This has also allowed him to branch out by making some publications that have addressed several issues. The best days for Dr. Phil were definitely yet to come, and he was not about to relent then. The show progressed till Phil was seeing about $65 million in earnings annually. Phil also took up advocacy and focused his energy on mental health. He educated the public as much as he could, and spoke strongly against some triggers like bullying and domestic violence, which are likely triggers of depression. From where he is now, Phil looks back at the days he had to spend months living in a car alongside his dad and sees them as his formative years. Though not suitable conditions for any kid, it helped build his resilience and gave him reason to put in maximum effort in what he does. He has also developed a passion for helping others as he can easily relate to their struggles. His story has been one of struggles and perseverance against all odds and might even be sadder than you think. We've learned about some happenings in his life, which the TV star has weathered all these years. Some of these were outright sad situations, and Phil has managed to remain on top of his game regardless. To begin with, he has been caught in a series of legal battles due to one issue or the other, mostly caused by his growing career and involvement with a wider audience. Being a stranger in the field, he had managed to wiggle his way through. All these go to show that Phil's career hasn't been a smooth ride. It has been a testament to his resilience. At some point, when Phil's career was still starting to show promise, he was caught in a lawsuit by the Texas State Board of Examiners of Psychologists, which accused him of breaching professional conduct by employing one of his former patients to work for him. This suit claimed a violation of ethical guidelines and wanted to see Phil punished for that. Despite bringing forward his own defense, the case against him was strong, and there was very little he could do at the time. This was happening in 1989, and both teams later had to opt for an out-of-court settlement. This case prepared Phil for the challenges of practicing as a psychologist and was very necessary for the battle he would face later in his career. With Dr. Phil's net worth increasing significantly, he also felt the need to diversify into different ventures as a way of increasing his income. Sadly, one of these led to other significant controversies that he has been caught in over the years. One of the companies that Phil invested in is the now discontinued Shake Up, which specialized in wellness and weight loss merchandise. With his vested interest, Phil used his platform to promote the brand. Some of the patrons of the brand later expressed their dissatisfaction with the brand, stating that they do not do what Phil claims. This went ahead to grow into a class action suit in 2004. As you would imagine, this led many to start questioning the credibility of Dr. Phil and other things he stands for. As the case heated up, the startup fell on the radar of the Federal Trade Commission, which soon started an investigation into false advertisements. The case stirred a lot of issues, and there was no resolution till 2006, when the brand reached a $10.5 million settlement for all parties involved. After this, Phil still braced himself and carried on with his life while counting his loss. He was, however, not discouraged from seeking to better his life. As if the damage to the Dr. Phil brand wasn't enough, there was another case in 2019, where Phil was sued for recommending a ranch to a troubled teenager, who claimed that she was assaulted when she went there on his recommendation. The ranch in question was the Turnabout Ranch, located in Escalante, Utah. The teenager and her parents accused Phil of not doing his due diligence before recommending the place and demanded that he be sanctioned for it. Before they made a case with Phil, they had already sued the ranch, which was struck out the first time. By the time they involved Phil in the case, they went ahead to refile the complaint. It was obvious that Phil's position was a delicate one, and he needed to be mindful of his utterances. Among some of the controversies that Phil has had within his career, he has also been accused on different occasions of taking advantage of the vulnerabilities of individuals that appear on his show. We will take a look at some instances in which the topic has come up over the years. You might remember the issue that came up with Britney Spears some years back. 2008 was a really dark year for Spears, as she battled with a mental health issue that got her admitted for care. Trying to check up on Britney Spears, which was reportedly at the request of her family, Phil visited the hospital and met with the singer. However, the public got enraged after Phil issued a public statement proposing to invite Spears to his show. This didn't sit well with a lot of people who saw the proposed move as exploitative. They believed that he was trying to take advantage of the Spears' unfortunate situation as a means to boost his own show. Even other psychologists deemed the move as unprofessional and unethical. This added to the host of other controversies that Phil has faced over the years, further denting his reputation. Another case that drew significant criticism involved a young woman who appeared on Dr. Phil's show to discuss her struggles with drug addiction. After the episode aired, the woman claimed that Dr. Phil and his producers had failed to provide her with the necessary support and resources to address her addiction. Instead, she alleged that the show had exploited her situation for ratings, leaving her worse off than before. The accusations reignited the debate over whether Dr. Phil's show was truly focused on helping people or merely on generating entertainment value. The criticism from this and similar cases has led to ongoing discussions about the responsibilities of television personalities who deal with real-life issues. Outside some of these legal cases, Phil has also suffered some personal issues and losses. A significant event that shook Dr. Phil's family occurred in 2001, in a random act that almost turned fatal. Someone had thrown a can of sulfuric acid off an overpass, which landed directly in the car that Phil's sister-in-law was in. Cindy Broaddus, Phil's sister-in-law, suffered a 70% burn on her body as a result and was placed in intensive care. Though the doctors didn't think she had much chance at survival, Cindy was able to fight and come out of the situation. She lived until 2018 when she passed at the age of 68. Fast forward to 2020, another devastating loss hit the family. Dr. Phil's nephew, William Scott Madsen Jr., had died from cancer, which it was later revealed that he had battled for many years. He was 47 years old when this unfortunate incident happened. Phil felt his death as he was also a colleague. Phil has spoken openly about how his death had affected him and how it helped strengthen his resolve to help people who have found themselves in such challenging situations. This helped him reevaluate his choices and prioritize what really matters to him. Also, if you remember the 2013 tornado that hit Moore, Oklahoma, you will remember that the sad incident claimed the lives of about 24 people, leaving several others injured. This turned out to be a city that Phil had personal links with. If you remember, he actually grew up in Oklahoma and so knew some of the people who got caught in the unfortunate incident personally. Using his platform, he raised awareness about what was going on in the area and was committed to helping the victims as much as he could. Many people were taken by his efforts to help the victims and rallied around him to provide relief to the affected individuals. His voice was important in that mission, and the heartfelt messages that he sent to the victims helped them get back up to rebuild what has been destroyed. He had expressed his faith in the people to remain resilient and not allow the unfortunate event to define them. Over the years, Phil has been caught in several other lawsuits, which have been testaments to the burden of his popularity. His words and actions often carry more weight than that of any other person, and he had to be careful not to spook the wrong crowd at any point. Just around February of last year, Phil broke the news that Dr. Phil would be ending after 21 seasons. He expressed his desire to explore other opportunities and was really grateful to his fans for supporting his mission all along. So, on May 25, 2023, the last episode of the show aired, marking the end of a long-running show. As of today, Phil's estimated net worth is about $460 million. He has absolutely built a life for himself and is poised to even do more in the future. Running Dr. Phil and maintaining his status as a public figure has been an extreme sport. Phil has made comments of having poor eating habits due to the long hours that he spends on screen. But with the show out of the way now, he will definitely have more time to look after himself and his family. As he embarks on a new chapter of his life, we all look forward to more amazing things that he is likely to do in the future, and we keep our fingers crossed till then. We have more videos coming, so do subscribe to the channel and we will see you in the next one.